Hey Angels and Biscuits, CSDL here with a spur of the moment video and something I haven't done yet on the channel, a theory video. I have Theory Biscuit here to represent me today as it was easier with editing and recording for a spontaneous video. And I wanted to get this video up and out before episode 4 airs on Monday, August 16th. As the title would suggest, these are my biggest theories on Roswell, New Mexico Season 3. So if you're not caught up with Seasons 1 and 2, maybe catch up with those first before watching this video. And at the end of the season, maybe I'll do a video comparing how wrong, or if I'm lucky, how correct I was in my theories. So a quick recap of some things that happened at the end of Season 2. We saw Liz leave Roswell to take a job in California after her and Max had broken up. And we had the discovery of a second Max, which leads us down the road of Max being a clone, which is important information going into Season 3. So we're told that Max, Isabel, and Michael had put this clone named Jones into the alien pod for over a year, so he has been, captive, dormant, whatever. But Michael and Isabel decide to finish building this alien prison cage and wake up Jones and put him in there so they can talk to him, ask him questions, stuff like that, because Max's health is declining and the transplanted heart from the evil alien Noah is no longer working. It was probably never going to work. His body is rejecting it. So they want to find another solution to save Max, obviously, and that led them to Jones. So this is where Jones takes the opportunity to tell Michael and Isabel some history of their alien homeworld, or at least his version of it. We only get his version of it at the moment. He explains how it was ruled by this man known as the Dictator, who was also said to be immortal, but that is yet to be proven, I suppose. And he also explained to them how their mothers fit into this whole scenario. He also made a really big deal out of pointing out that he cared about Max. He always cared about Max. He just wanted to protect him and make sure he didn't die and all this other stuff. This is important for later on. Which leads us into my biggest theory of the season. Jones is the Dictator. I think he's been telling half-truths this whole time, manipulating as he went. He got inside Michael's head by telling him he's the Dictator's son. He also calls him son, and I wonder if that's foreshadowing layered in as a colloquial expression. He's getting into Isabel's head by telling her how her abilities work, trying to establish trust, I suppose, and suggesting she needs to let Michael and Max go and come back with her empathy abilities. And I bet you if she does that, something bad happens, like they all become weaker for a time, and it gives him the chance to overpower and gain the upper hand. And he uses his connection and understanding of Max and his abilities to lure Max to him and use Max's powers, his, exploding things with emotion powers, to escape. Okay. Now, you might have some questions, like, but Theory Biscuit, he said he saved Max. Or, but Theory Biscuit, he said the Dictator was fireproof, and it seems Michael truly is fireproof, but nowhere have we seen Jones or Max be fireproof. Well, let me explain. First, what really turned the tide for thinking he's the Dictator was if he cared so much about Max, why did he just leave him there after escaping? Why not try to heal him, stay with him till he woke, proved he's not evil? He just left, calmly, might I add, and the number of evil smirks he gives is red flag number 2. Like he's plotting and manipulating and things are totally going his way and he knows it. Second point, we don't know that Jones isn't fireproof yet, and if Max truly is a clone, if I was gonna be a big bad evil, I wouldn't let my clones possess all my amazing powers lest they try to overthrow me. So Max might be a weaker version, Dictator Light, who's basically there to keep Dictator Original alive. That's why Michael has no power limits and Max does. If Michael truly is the Dictator's son, he'd have straight-up genetics in his favor. Also explains why Max would have been on the ship with Jones to Earth. Now, this does imply some level of the aliens coming to Earth to conquer, right? Especially with an alien named Jones the Dictator, and that would make Jesse Maines partially right. And yuck, because no one wants that. But that just means, at the very least, Jones is evil, not all his travel companions. I'd like to believe Isabel and Michael's moms were good and trying to protect them, though I wouldn't be surprised if they were also evil. It could also be quite dramatic and extra alien cowboy angst if both Michael and Isabel's moms were evil. Isabel said in season 1 something like, "Is that what we are? Killers? Is it in our DNA?" That would give extra added weight to them being not like their parents. And this show is an entirely I'm not like my parents show. Though so far Kyle's dad doesn't seem evil, but Kyle's just the purest, goodest boy currently who literally deserves a vacation. But from a storytelling standpoint, I think there is some merit to the dictator fleeing from an uprising and forcing the mothers of his children with him. Also, yes, I said children. I have a small theory that he is also Isabel's father. She now has telekinesis like Michael and electromagnetic manipulation like Max. The dictator's children would have the powers of both parents, probably, and she has her mother's empath abilities and now the abilities of Max and Michael. If Michael wasn't so angsty all the time, I bet he'd discover he can do a lot more as well. But I can't ignore the similarities. That would also make Isabel and Michael half-siblings and give Michael that real family he's never had. He's had it with Max and Isabel this whole time, but it seems like he's always kind of felt like the odd man out because he wasn't their real sibling. It would also give him a reason to stop thinking he's a monster if Isabel is also the dictator's child. He would never say she's a monster for being his daughter, so therefore neither is he. Enough with the cowboy angst, Michael, though if this theory is true, Isabel will probably go through some cowboy angst of her own after learning this information. So this brings us to our last theory about our alien biscuits, and that is if Michael is really the dictator's son and possesses the same abilities and without limitation, that would also mean he has the ability to heal. But unlike Max, his powers would not have any limitation or side effects. And, okay, by that I mean it won't kill him, or it won't make him super sick. Not that he wouldn't be limited with, say, a recovery time, so he couldn't heal 2 people in a short time span, let's say. At least at first. He would need some practice on using the ability before he could heal multiple people in one day, for example. So, what that would mean is he could heal both Maria and Max. But like a true CW drama show, he would likely have to make a choice, save Maria or save Max. The choice would probably be Maria, and they would end up using Jones and his heart to save Max. Now, let's move on to Alex and Kyle, my 2 favorites. Alex has been working on this weird device for Deep Sky, and Kyle has a radio left to him by his dad. I 100% think these 2 things are connected, but how, I'm not totally sure. What I have so far. I don't know that I believe Kyle is really talking to his dad. Aliens with superhuman powers is one thing, but adding ghosts changes the style of the supernatural that the show has been. So then, what is it? To me, it could be like the crystals that project the likeness and personality of Jor-El and other Kryptonians in shows like Superman and Lois or other Superman incarnations. Not really them, but technology that gives an exact facsimile of them. They know everything that person knew and can answer and ask questions based on that knowledge, but at the end of the day, isn't really them, but alien tech. How Jim Valenti knew about it is beyond me, but maybe he was more in contact with aliens than we thought. He did have contact with an alien when Jesse Maines pushed him into one of the holding cells he kept aliens prisoner in, so maybe he was given some knowledge, or maybe he was in contact with other aliens that we just haven't heard about yet. The other possibility is he's not really dead, but I like that theory about as much as I like it's actually ghosts, as it sounds like Kyle was there when he was dying and all that. As far as how Kyle's radio and Alex's device are connected, I think Kyle's is a part of Alex's, and that there are other radios like Kyle's out there. And maybe with the main one, Alex's, you can tap into the others. Next up, who dies? Now this theory will likely be resolved very soon, but I think it's maybe the mayor's son and or Sanders. He and his goons, the mayor's son and his goons, are gonna go cause trouble, alien defense squad to the rescue. They do have a beef to pick with Michael, and the best way to get revenge is target the people your target of revenge cares about. And with all the references in the vision pointing to Sanders and Michael, we know it's not Michael who dies, so maybe Sanders. And the mayor's son, because Michael goes into a murderous rage, maybe? And to keep the mayor off Michael's back, so to protect Michael, they have to cover it up. And that concludes all my theories for Roswell, New Mexico Season 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to hear them. Leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. I would totally appreciate it. And Theory Biscuit and I will see you guys next time.